What you're about to watch is definitely a mistake, but why? Some of you might say that Yi needed to play this mechanically better, and that's true. He should have held his Q for the second tower shot instead of using it immediately. This would have allowed him to get another auto in and dodge damage from the tower. So while it's definitely possible that he kills Diana, even if he had, I would argue that he shouldn't have even tried to go for this at all. Jungle is always about opportunity cost and risk reward. When you pick one option, you can't choose the other, and you're constantly using up your most valuable resource, time. Junglers are always told that they need to gank to have impact on the game in order to win, which is true. But in order to be efficient, you need to be very careful about which ganks you actually choose to go for. They're simultaneously your strongest tools, but also the biggest time wasters. Today we're going to be talking about tons of different ways that junglers waste time by going for bad ganks. Let's get right into it. To give a bit of context to that earlier Master Yi clip, right before he decides to gank mid, we can look at what information is available. The game started with a split map situation, with both junglers starting each other's blue buffs. As he's doing Raptors, we can see that Lilia is showing top, and as he continues clearing and pans his camera to mid, we can see Diana going in on our Lux, and it's at this point that we need to decide what to do next. Yi decides to gank mid, and at this point he spends about 25 seconds trying to set this up and wait for Diana to misplay for him to get in range to go for the kill. But if we go back and look at that decision, we can find a lot of flaws in the logic behind it. Because League is a game of imperfect information, we need to make decisions based on what might happen, and not just be results based. At this point, Diana has no reason to do anything but retreat to the wave, and in that case there is absolutely no way that we're getting in range to ever Q onto her. If we do, she has to make an extremely bad decision, and we simply cannot rely on her to do that. In the coaching session, listen to what I say during this section. Okay, don't show.
Don't show?
Just go crab. You can't kill that, she's walking away. It's just not worth running at Diana, risking showing on map and giving away a ton of information for the incredibly small chance that we somehow get this kill. However, he opts for it anyways. Even at this point, when Diana makes an error and failing to recall, we are still presented with another problem. Even if she walks up and pushes the wave, she will see us when we get to this point. This is still incredibly far out of range to Q, and then we're going to have to rely on her making yet another mistake in order to get into range. Now, Diana either has to be completely oblivious to the fact that we're even here and let us walk up to her, or she has to make the worst possible decisions and walk towards her tower instead of walking either way towards her jungle to escape. Fortunately for Yi, Diana is simultaneously oblivious and chooses the worst possible way of walking if she wanted to survive. And even though the stars align, we still don't get the kill. Even though this play had the potential to work, it relied on Diana making multiple wrong decisions in a row, and that by nature makes the gank extremely inconsistent and destined to fail. When you're planning ahead and realize that the enemy has to mess up in order for your play to work, you probably shouldn't go for it anymore. We need to make plays that work no matter what the enemy chooses to do. Guaranteed plays in this situation would be to farm red and then go to take bottom crab. Since we know Lilia's top side, we have time to take additional camps before we rush to crab here. I know that a lot of people will be skeptical about that last clip just because it was played in low elo. So now we're going to take a look at Master's solo queues and see how the same kind of things happen. Rengar is full clearing down, and as he gets to the end of it, he's faced with making a decision. From here, he can really look at only three options: ganking mid, ganking bot, or just going for the crab. If we look at the solo lanes right now, it really doesn't look like mid is a possible gank. Bottom has potential, but again, we're going to have to weigh that against our other option, which is doing crab. If we really think about it, there is no way that Rengar can participate in this gank. Even if Leona lands everything and goes in when Rengar gets here, how does he get in to help? He just offers nothing here. In the game, Rengar wastes roughly 15 seconds just trying to look for this gank, and in this elo, that amount of time will likely be punished. Almost immediately, we can see the consequences of that time loss. If Rengar had started crab immediately, he would already be done with it here, and been mid in time in order to counter the gank. However, that isn't the case. If we look at his perspective and what information he has currently, you're basically choosing to either give up the crab now, potentially going mid to trade 1-for-1, or finishing the crab and ignoring mid. With Lee's flash up and Rengar not having flash at all, there's no way that Rengar should ever get a kill here unless the enemies grossly misplay. there's a very high chance that Rengar tries to go mid, gets nothing, and loses the crab for it as well, meaning that the last 30 plus seconds accomplished absolutely nothing. In the game, Rengar drops the crab and goes mid, which actually causes Zilean to turn around and die when he was otherwise out of the fight. Lee Sin executes and Rengar sticks around trying to force the wave to crash. Zilean teleports, and even with the TP, Lee Sin just runs back mid and kills Rengar. Because of the decision to try and force extremely unlikely ganks, Lee now gets XP from kills, gold, and both crabs, while Rengar quite literally gets nothing. Rengar doesn't accomplish anything from when he finishes his last camp at 320 to when he touches Krugs at 5 minutes. That is a ton of time waste for a seemingly really small decision to just try a harmless gank. Let's go ahead and look at another example. In this one, we're following a Mumu as he finishes his initial clear, and after killing red, he heads towards mid to try and punish the Graves. At this timer, he's going to pick between a few different things, going to crab or going mid. However, if we look at mid, we should notice something pretty important. Graves has nothing to do right now besides either back up and recall or try to hit tower. The fact that he is already turned away from tower at this point should tell Amumu that this is a complete waste of time to even look for. He's too far away to land Q, and Graves still has flash up regardless. Amumu goes mid and tries to fight Graves, but once again, Graves had to opt in to this fight. If he wanted to, he easily could have just left and not left it up to chance at all. It's relying on him to even give the opportunity to Amumu in the first place. Amumu walks away with super low HP, but now he's in a predicament. He can't contest either crab at this point. Showing mid before might have not been that bad, but only if Amumu went for the play that didn't require Graves to opt in, which is just going for the wave at tower. Once again, forcing the gank just ends up costing him time, resources, his flash, and ruins his ability to snowball the game. We can even look at the enemy jungler from the same game and see a very similar thematic. Nunu finishes his clear and takes top crab, and from here he's going to decide between going to gank or going back to his Gromp. If we look mid at the moment which he decides to snowball, let's just evaluate the likelihood for this play to succeed, and also its importance. Trundle is just about to finish shoving the wave in, and is full HP. Even if Nunu could kill Trundle, which he can't, Trundle will likely just kill the two minions and walk away before he gets there. Trundle even walks straight into Nunu's snowball, and the fight goes pretty much how we would expect it to. Trundle still manages to get the wave under tower in time, and Nunu even dies in the process. There are just so many situations in which ganks just end up being complete wastes of time. It may seem harmless to just try to influence the map, but players often forget that everything, and I mean everything, costs time. I'm definitely not saying to never look for ganks, or to always take the safe play, not at all. The importance of this guide is that you should really consider your ganks before you do them. Even if something looks free or harmless, you might have alternatives that are just way easier, way safer, and better, all at the same time. These examples range from silver to masters, so it's safe to say that this problem exists in all elos of play, and being able to evaluate when something isn't worth going for is just as valuable as being able to see the winning play. It's not something we often talk about, but sometimes less is more.
Alright guys, before we wrap this up, let's tell you a little more about SkillCapped. So, we offer a 5-division rank up guarantee, and think that's a pretty crazy thing to offer. It's like a gym membership guaranteeing you'll get ripped. Your local gym would go bust if they offered that, right? Not us. We've offered this for years because our service really does work. It works so well, in fact, that we're able to produce by far the largest catalog of premium league guides on the internet. We add over 20 videos a week, with over 1,600 guides curated into over 100 courses no one can compare. We've also sent challenger players into ELO Hell 714 times and counting, where they commentate how to carry live. They also respond to all questions asked. Sign up today for as little as $4.99 a month if you are serious about improving.
With that, it brings us to the end of this video. Thanks so much for watching, and let us know how you did in the comments below, and we'll be sure to catch you in the next one.